I'm very grateful to be here with my colleagues, Senator Booker and Senator Paul, our extraordinary advocates on this and other issues. I'm really here to talk about some families in New York that I met. One of them's here, Kate Hintz and her daughter Morgan. You can see Morgan, and she is a little girl who has a very serious disease. And many children in my state have similar afflictions, and they feel the real pain of the current federal laws as it relates to medicine that their doctors have prescribed. Kate, our mom, she is not a full-time political advocate. She's a full-time mom trying to do the right thing and to help her child get the medicine that would ease her chronic pain. Kate and Morgan sacrificed a lot to be here. It is not easy to get here. And they are simply asking Congress to do its job, to take care of America's kids. Across the country, state lawmakers have already recognized what medical research is showing us. That cannabis can treat a variety of illnesses, from MS to cancer to epilepsy to seizures. Medical marijuana is legal in 23 states, plus the District of Columbia. 12 other states have laws permitting the use of cannabidiol, which is CBD. It's a strain of medical marijuana that has almost no THC and doesn't cause a high. This is the medicine that so many parents have been prescribed for their children who have these seizures, daily seizures, hundreds of seizures that actually prevent these children's brains from developing fully and living the fullest life they can. Instead, the federal laws threaten prosecution of the patients, of the doctors, the providers who participate in medical marijuana programs. And these laws, as Senator Paul said, severely restrict the scientific research of medical marijuana. They prevent the transparent financing for medical marijuana dispensaries, forcing providers to rely on dangerous cash-only businesses. These laws ignore the health benefits of medical marijuana. This is clearly a case of ideology getting in the way of scientific progress. The government should not prevent doctors from prescribing medicine that has shown to work. And the government should not block families from accessing treatment that would ease their children's suffering. Under current law, patients and doctors are forced to either forego necessary care, which Morgan has to do, or use alternatives that often have severe side effects. And those who do obtain medical marijuana risk arrest from federal authorities, even if they're in compliance with state laws. As the families told me when I visited them in New York, they aren't just afraid of prosecution. They're afraid of a knock on the door from Child Services, coming to take their children away, all because they chose to give their children the medicine that doctors have prescribed. Senator Booker and Paul and I are introducing this new bill, the CARERS Act, which would recognize that marijuana has accepted medical uses and would recognize the will of voters in 23 states that have decided that denying families access is wrong. The bipartisan bill would finally allow patients and families, including veterans, in those 23 states to access medical care without fear of prosecution. It also reschedules medical marijuana to a Schedule II drug as opposed to a Schedule I drug, which is what, as Senator Paul said, would allow more research. It would also lift bureaucratic restraints so that this research can be conducted across the country and by CDC. We need to modernize our laws, and there are too many stories like the ones I heard just a few weeks ago. An 8-year-old boy named Donnie, who has since died of brain cancer. Instead of being allowed to take small doses of medical marijuana, which would have provided relief and reduced anxiety more effectively, he was stuck taking powerful opiates, which weren't always effective, and left her unaware of her surroundings. Or Oliver, who I just met, a little boy whose life is interrupted by over 100 seizures a day. Those seizures impair his life and impair his cognitive development. If he was able to have small doses of medical marijuana, it would stop his seizures and allow Oliver to live his life more fully. Instead, he has to take powerful barbiturates, which are addictive and not always effective. Now, Morgan, Kate's daughter here, she has Dravet, which is a syndrome that has a very rare form of epilepsy that has no known cure. I've met several children that have this disease. Even though there's a growing scientific consensus that medical marijuana actually helps control these seizures, Morgan's mother would have to violate laws and risk arrest just to give her daughter the medicine she needs. So these stories are not, they're not the only ones. And I urge my colleagues to support the CARERS Act. It gives the parents the ability and option to treat these diseases more effectively and to ease their children's pain more effectively.